BBVA Compass Stadium for tonight's round of 16 between the Houston Dynamo and Colorado Rapids, their first ever meeting in the U.S. Open Cup. It's been a long night for some of these fans. Kickoff was scheduled for 7:30 Central Time. Now it's set for 15 minutes from now, 10:18 local time. So a rain and weather delay of more than 2.5 hours. A big storm swept through Houston about 4 o'clock this afternoon. Lightning, thunder, a lot of wind and torrential rain, and that was probably the biggest problem, was getting the rain off the field. But it is off. The teams have warmed up. They've gone in for the final team talk, and they should be walking out in a few minutes for the national anthem. Let's get right into the starting lineups for this one. They're brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. First, for the Colorado Rapids, as they search for their first time to the quarterfinals since 2006 under head coach Pablo Mastroeni. Here is the lineup. Zach McMath on loan from Philadelphia. He gets his second straight start in the Open Cup, has not played an MLS League game. Promising goalkeeper, 23 years of age, has over 100 regular season games to his name. The back four from right to left: Marlon Hairston, Joseph Greenspan, Shane O'Neill, and Mark Birch. So Hairston gets his second appearance, both coming in the Open Cup. Greenspan, a good story. He was drafted in the second round out of the Naval Academy and assigned to Denver in the Navy, and just came to terms with the Rapids and a nice arrangement. He can fulfill his naval requirements while playing with the Rapids. It's his second straight Open Cup start. He's also played 2 league games. O'Neill partners with him. He's been busy the last few years with the USA U20s and U23s, and been in the last 2 January camps for the U.S. national team. Veteran Mark Birch is the left back, now 31 years of age. It's a 4-2-3-1 for Pablo Mastroeni. Sam Cronin and Jared Watts partner in the holding roles. Cronin, a regular with the San Jose Earthquakes, and then taken in a trade this January to Colorado. Watts is a center back by trade, but he gets his first start in a holding role with the Rapids. Vicente Sanchez, 35-year-old Uruguayan, veteran with Toluca, so many other clubs including Chalca and Club America. He gets his start on the right. Charles Ulundu, the 20-year-old from Cameroon, he is on the left. Dylan Powers is the attacking midfielder for Colorado. And the number 9 is Kevin Doyle, 31-year-old from Ireland. Big designated player signing. They worked it out for him to join ahead of the transfer window. Still looking for his first goal with the Rapids. Hasn't scored in 6 games, 3 starts, but scored a bunch of them in Europe with Wolves, Crystal Palace, Reading, and others. That's your lineup for Pablo Mastroeni. Very much a first-choice lineup in many spots as they try to advance to the quarterfinals. Now for the Houston Dynamo, 10 changes from the team that lost 2-0 at Dallas on Friday. Joe Willis is in goal. He starts for the second time in as many Open Cup games. The back four from right to left is Kofi Sarkodie, David Horst, A.J. Cochran, and Corey Ash. 4 across the middle for the Dynamo: Lionel Miranda. He scored against the Aztecs last round. Zach Steinberger, Nathan Sturgis, they also get their second straight Open Cup starts. And Alex Lima, the Brazilian, he had the assist on the Miranda goal against Austin 2 weeks ago. 2 forwards, Mauro Manotas, the Colombian, gets his first Dynamo start. He had the assist on Clark's late goal in the 2-0 win. And Chandler Huffman is the other striker for Owen Coyle. We'll take a break. When we come back, more from BBVA Compass Stadium right after this.
Global resources company with mining and oil and gas interests worldwide. Our reputation is built on proven performance, helping provide the energy that keeps the world moving, cities growing, communities thriving. And we combine this innovative spirit with a commitment to sustainability, developing natural resources with responsibility and integrity, today and for years to come. BHP Billiton, resourcing the future.
As a BBVA Compass customer, you have the chance to show your true colors every time you open your wallet.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Presenting Dynamo Banking, featuring debit and credit card options that can help you reach your goals. Open your account today at any of our 80 locations in Houston or online at bbvacompass.com/dynamo. Team works in soccer and in banking.
And it's in! Carly Lloyd in her debut! We're going with a shot, saved by McLeod. And Ohio makes it two!
He's taking the world by storm. Grammy-nominated Ed Sheeran, live in concert. BBVA Compass Stadium, September 3rd, with special guest Christina Perri. Tickets on sale now at bbvacompassstadium.com, axs.com, or by phone. The #1 selling album, Multiply, is in stores and online now. There's more at edsheeran.com. Produced by AEG Live and the Messina Group.
Learn soccer the Dynamo way and start your path to the pros. The Houston Dynamo offer youth programs for every age and skill level, from a challenging introduction to soccer to intensive competition training and opportunities to play for the Dynamo Academy.
This is Ricardo Clark of the Houston Dynamo. The Dynamo youth programs offer the professional environment required to develop your game and prepare you for success.
To find out more or to register for Dynamo youth programs, visit HoustonDynamo.com.
From the first time the ball hit the back of the net, we could feel a sport on the rise. Our passion burning, our tradition building, our city united. Amongst a sea of orange, we are the home field advantage. We began, we will remain, forever orange, forever one.
To BBVA Compass Stadium here in Houston, moments away from kickoff. It's the Houston Dynamo and Colorado Rapids. Delighted to welcome to the booth Glenn Davis. Glenn, welcome, and any thoughts on tonight's match? It's the Dynamo and the Rapids.
Yeah, I think a couple things. I think the first thing is you have to overcome the weight, the conditions, hanging around a locker room as long as you have. I think that's a big part of it. But I think for both of these teams, it's a night of opportunity for players. I mean, there's a lot of guys here that have, I think, an opportunity to prove things to a manager. Probably guys that think they should be playing more minutes here. So real opportunity, I think, for players. And then the other thing, I think, is really how cohesive can you be with all the changes? I mean, the Dynamo, they're making 10 changes tonight. How cohesive can you be? How can 11 players really find some semblance of playing together tonight?
Those are the Kroger keys of the game from Glenn Davis. A weather delay of more than 2 hours and 45 minutes. Especially 2:48 when this thing kicks off at 10:18. And how might that affect these teams? I think Colorado, they've been on the road for 7 days, Glenn, without any return to Colorado. It's not the home locker room. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but definitely not ideal for a road team.
No, I think we're going to find out pretty quickly how interested they are in the game here tonight. I mean, look, this is a team that's really, really struggled. I think has only won 2 games in their last 31 games. I mean, this is... where are they mentally? This could be the type of game, though, that a number of younger players, some different players get an opportunity that they can potentially have a different type of attitude. But we're going to see pretty quickly here who wants to play here tonight at 10:15 Central Time.
Yeah, it's an opportunity to advance to the quarterfinals. Amazingly, Glenn, no MLS wins in this competition for either team since 2006. The Dynamo have to go all the way back to 2006 when they beat FC Dallas 3-2, and Colorado has not been to the quarterfinals since 2006. So something has to give tonight, and for Colorado, it's their 3rd road game in 8 days. As you see the teams walking out, a bright moment for David Horst wearing the captain's armband, and Sam Cronin has the honor for Colorado.
Yeah, you got to really applaud these fans that have stuck it out here. There's a couple hundred fans here down here at 10:50 at night on a work night. Pretty nice showing from this group of people that have remained out here. And, here's a number of younger players that you're looking at here that are getting a chance, a new signing. So there are some really interesting sort of storylines here if you're a Dynamo fan. Mauro Manotas, the 19-year-old getting a start here tonight. How do these 11 play together? What sort of soccer can they play here tonight over the course of 90 minutes? But I think with everybody getting opportunity, we're going to see some real energy and some excitement from some younger players.
All right, Glenn, let's look at the reserves now. First for the Dynamo, some interesting choices on the bench for Owen Coyle, Will Bruin, Taylor Hunter back from loan, Ricardo Clark who came off the bench to score, Luis Garrido, Alexander Lopez, and DeMarcus Beasley. So if Coyle needs a trump card in the second half, he certainly has some options.
Yeah, 5 out of 7 there, starters, Beasley, Lopez, Garrido, you mentioned all the names, so, you can reach to the bench. But look, there's no doubt this is a lineup with an eye on Friday against Chicago based on the last Dynamo result, not the best of results and performances. There's a big focus on Friday, but again, these are the difficult choices that managers in MLS have to make, and that is how to balance out these games, give opportunity to people, give playing time to people, and still try to get a result. And a lot of times the fans will look at that and say you didn't really care about the tournament, and that's debatable. I don't think there's any question the Dynamo want to win the game tonight, but they want to win on Friday, and MLS in most cases are more important, despite the fact this being a 100-year-old tournament.
Yeah, it's a difficult challenge, and we see it with the Dynamo. Rob Lovejoy injures his hamstring. Brad Davis has the bone bruise, so Owen Coyle is going to need some of these players perhaps as early as Friday night to beat the Chicago Fire.
No doubt about it. Has to blood these players, has to get minutes for guys like Lionel Miranda, Chandler Hoffman. But there is some pressure on these players as well. Just because they're young doesn't mean there's not pressure on them. Chandler Hoffman got to start producing something. Came here with a bit of a drum roll. So there is pressure on some of these younger guys. A.J. Cochran last year got a lot of minutes. This year can't see the field. There's a lot of things at stake personally for players, and of course there's a lot at stake for a club.
It's been a bit of a rotation for Pablo Mastroeni and the Colorado Rapids as he's had to navigate this 3 road games in 7 days. Many of those that started in Orlando 6 days ago came off the bench against Kansas City on Saturday and another 2-0 defeat. But the bench for Colorado, Clint Irwin, who has played every MLS minute, Dominique Baji, Drew Moore, Lucas Pizzanari, James Riley, Marcelo Sarvis, and Dylan Cerna. So much like the Dynamo, Glenn, some starter caliber players on the bench for Mastroeni.
Been a tough year for the Colorado Rapids as well, and there's really nobody, when I look at this list of players here, both the regular team and the reserves, there's nobody that really, to me, has stood out in a big way. One thing I'm interested to see, Vicente Sanchez tonight, he's 35, how many minutes he gets. Great pedigree in the Mexican League with Toluca.
We are set for kickoff. A long night for the referees as well. Nima Sergafi is our man in the middle. They checked this field 3 or 4 times to assess its playability, and finally it was set to go. And after a 2-hour and 48-minute weather delay, we are underway in the round of 16 in the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. Colorado in the yellow tops, blue shorts and socks. The Dynamo in the home orange socks and white shorts as Hairston throws it in. Alex.
10-15 at night, Matt. You want to get into this game quickly. Their first time on the ball. You want to make it something successful. So, you find out what type of energy you have, get a little bit of confidence early here, and get after it on a bit of a slick pitch.
Turned over. Here's Miranda. Wide right. Mauro Manotas, his first Dynamo start. Finds Miranda in the area. Leonel Miranda to the near post. A loose ball in the box and cleared by Powers. Now here comes Sanchez, wide left. Here comes Charles Alundu, 20-year-old from Cameroon. Very good pace. Tries to pull it back against Horse, then back onto his right, and he pulls it wide. So an early warning shot, Charles Alundu.
Oh, dangerous moment there. Kofi Sarkodie went into the attack, joined in. The Dynamo looked good on that attack with Manotas and Miranda producing something out wide on the right, but Alundu turned somebody at the top of the box. Great shooting opportunity there. Very dangerous moment. The Dynamo caught out a bit.
Glenn, early on, you see the field's definitely going to wreak havoc tonight. On one end, tough for the Rapids to clear, and then Alundu working against David Horse, not the easiest of footing after this downpour hit Houston mid-afternoon today. And now Mark Birch having some difficulty settling. Here's Leonel Miranda, wide right. Manotas driven ball, and it's handled calmly. Zach McMath.
Boy, from our angle, I thought that was whipped out near the 6-yard box. It looked like a much more dangerous ball. I liked the venom and the pace hit in that. Unfortunately, it's right at the goalkeeper, but very interested to take a look at tonight. The 19-year-old Mauro Manotas comes very highly regarded from Colombia. Obviously, he's played in the first division. He's played for the under-20 Colombian national team, so there's a little bit of a magnifying glass on him tonight.
Yeah, and Coyle seems to have done this a few times as he is talking with Sanchez after he took a shot to the face, the 35-year-old Uruguayan. But he likes to bring these players along slowly. Manotas didn't make the 18 his first game. Came off the bench in Portland. Didn't start in the Open Cup. Now he finally gets his first start after training with the team for about a full month.
And let's not forget he got his first minutes against Austin. Came off the bench, produced a nice weighted pass to Ricardo Clark that led to the second goal against Texas. So, he's adapted pretty quickly here. He's got the benefit of a number of Spanish-speaking teammates. So, look, he may be 19, but it seems to be a very good situation for him here.
A.J. Cochran targeting Alex Lima, a bit heavy, and a goal kick to the Rapids. The winner of tonight's game will meet the winner of tomorrow night's match between Sporting Kansas City and FC Dallas. That game will be hosted by the winner of that game. So the winner of tonight's match will go on the road in mid to late July. I think 21st or 22nd is the date. But first objective is win tonight.
And it's strange seeing Zach McMath in a Colorado uniform with so many years in Philadelphia. And let's not forget, he's only 24 years old. He's played over 100 matches already. He's really had sort of an up and down MLS career, but as an opportunity, tonight in the absence of Clint Irwin, to make a little bit of an impact here.
And now they might test the ball, or no, a drop kick.
I just looked there at Vicente Sanchez and remember those years he had at Toluca when they won titles, and Uruguayan was just a master in the Mexican League, and combining with Jose Cardoso, such a fun team to watch.
And quite the resume, a few years with Schalke in Germany and then Club America. Back to Uruguay and then a few seasons now with Colorado. Cochran, good strength against Doyle, gets it forward. Here is Manotas. Good calmness. Shot from distance, and it's caught by Zach McMath. So another promising play for Manotas. Stopped on a dime and then hit it well from about 25 yards.
Manotas looks up for the moment tonight. He's young, he's youthful. I think he's brimming with a bit of confidence here, but cuts his back on his right, takes a quick look, and I think McMath has got it all the way, but this is a great idea. Hits it with decent pace. Makes a chance for himself, and you like that out of strikers. And conversely, number 9 here up front, Doyle, the Irishman who's played for the Republic of Ireland. I'm interested to see where he is because he's a designated player. He's expected to come to Colorado and make a difference in this team. So we're still seeing if that signing for the Rapids will bear fruit.
I think difficult for Doyle. He wasn't playing much for Wolves this season. Allowed to come early by mutual agreement. 6 games, 3 starts with the Rapids, and yet to score.
Yeah, he's only played 290 minutes, so this is a very valuable game for him as well.
Sanchez to the middle. Sam Cronin trying to find Alundu. Manotas drops deep to help out Sarkodie.
He's quick. He's light on his feet. I mean, he really runs very gracefully, kind of glides.
One of the last cuts for Colombia ahead of the U20 World Cup. Work to the Dynamo benefit in many ways as Doyle turns against Cochran. Good work from Horst. Miranda helps it on to Manotas. Here's Hoffman, good move. To slip by Greenspan. And now Cochran back towards Hoffman, but right on his back was Mark Birch, the left back veteran for Colorado.
I like the symbolism of David Horst being given the captain's armband for Houston. You know, it was a tough year defensively for the Houston Dynamo, but last year, and you know, the center backs take a lot of criticism.
Here's Hoffman onto his left, top of the box. Hoffman keeps it alive. Manotas, and cleared in the end. Marlon Hairston.
Nice work from Corey Ash coming back there to find the goalkeeper, Joe Willis. But again, back to David Horst. I think he's had a very strong, solid season. He's come off the bench to provide valuable minutes. He's started and had valuable minutes. I think he's brimming with a little bit more confidence with a much more stabilized midfield in front of him, which, of course, has protected the 2 center backs a little bit better.
Big switching ball, Hairston tracking back. Second ball settled by Alex Lima. The Brazilian trying to find Hoffman. Falls under the boot of Lena Miranda, but it's kept alive with Sarkodie. Miranda, driven ball. And Hoffman trying to beat McMath at the near post. Another goal kick to Colorado.
I love the little give and go out wide. I like the fact that Hoffman's combining with people, so with Kofi Sarkodie out there. And then he hits the near post and tries a little flick there. So good idea, some good build-up. And again, I think the Dynamo targeting Mark Birch a little bit going down that right side of the field.
Birch, 10 years in MLS, 180 regular season games. Been with Seattle, DC United, Columbus, and out of Maryland, played with LA Galaxy. 9th minute here in Houston. Steinberger getting forward. Looking for a way through.
I do like the delivery the Dynamo are playing here from wide areas tonight. A lot of them are driven in balls. I think on this surface, that's a wonderful idea.
Foot race here. Cochran against Kevin Doyle. Doyle will wait for support. Vicente Sanchez back with Hairston. Big switching ball from big Joseph Greenspan. Alundu battles with Sarkodie, and Sarkodie will go back to Willis. I think every back pass, Glenn, on this field tonight is a shaky prospect after so much rain, but so bouncy in the penalty areas.
Yeah, you certainly, this is a surface that's been laid down recently. You certainly have to, without a doubt, in your third of the field in front of your own goal, be very careful with the type of pass that you play and the risk that you take. On this surface, you probably want to take your risk in the middle third and the final third for sure.
Greenspan made his debut as a pro a few weeks ago against Colorado Springs. Scored his first professional goal in a 4-1 win. And then he's earned 2 starts for Pablo Mastroeni. Here's Sanchez. Through Sturgis and a free kick to Colorado. And an early booking for Nate Sturgis. Yellow card caution brought to you by Center Point Energy, always there. Sturgis into the book. And a good play made by Sanchez after it was lost by Cochran.
Well, he's 35, but he's still slippery. He's still tricky. He still is capable of making a play that can change the game, including off the set piece here. So you have to keep an eye on Vicente Sanchez and what he does here tonight. And it's a skill set that can make the one ball or come up with the one idea with a soccer brain to make a difference.
A lot of big set piece targets. Beginning with Greenspan, 6'6". Jared Watts is big. Dylan Powers. Here it comes from Sanchez towards the back post. No problem for Joe Willis. And now Lima wants it quickly.
It's not a bad wall. Jared Watts was the man to hit, but let's see if Alex can do something here on the counter.
Alex Lima against Sam Cronin. Sanchez comes flying in. Good footwork by Alex. Leonel Miranda. Steinberger. Wide left. Here's Alex against Hairston. 1 versus 2, and he wins a corner kick. Good work from the Brazilian, acquired in early April from Chicago.
Yeah, I like what the Dynamo's doing. The ball's moving off their feet quickly. They look good in tight areas. They look energetic. They look up for the moment, and they're earning corners. They're getting some decent delivery in, and let's see if they can get rewarded by getting the game's first goal.
Leonel Miranda will take this wing stop corner kick. Alex is a short option. Cochran forward, as is Horst for the Dynamo. Miranda towards the near post. It falls in the box and eventually cleared by Colorado.
Wonderful delivery. Wonderful delivery. Had a lot of bodies in motion, a lot of good movement. Unlucky not to get somebody make contact with that because the pace was in the delivery.
Ash to throw it in. 13th minute. Round of 16 here in the U.S. Open Cup with Glenn Davis. I'm Matt Peterson. After a 2 hour and 18 minute weather delay, or 48 minute, I should say. It's actually turned into a really nice night. Won by Powers. Sanchez with Doyle. Off a Dynamo man, they'll keep the flag down. Horst challenging Doyle. Now it's Sanchez.
Well, Dynamo thought Alonso was going to play that, and everybody kind of slowed down for that split second, and then all of a sudden Kevin Doyle came coming in.
Hairston with the serve. Horst held up Doyle. Now it's Miranda.
You know, there's some that will say these games are not meaningful. Boy, these are real opportunities for players, and you're seeing some energy from people that are trying to make an impression on Owen Coyle, certainly on the Dynamo side of things.
It was a great layoff from Armanotas for Hoffman. Then Sarkoti could not settle.
Yeah, it was just a little bit behind him. Maybe his run was a little bit too early. It's all about timing.
Here's Miranda to the near post. And a good save that time from McMath that came off the boot of Alex Lima after an initial miss hit from Armanotas.
Yeah, it's all Dynamo right now. I think they're up for the moment a little bit more than Colorado. Who knows if it's the long road trip? I don't know. But, you know, this right side of the field is where there's been tons of penetration. And, I mean, you hit that at the lone place you don't want to hit it, right at the goalkeeper. I mean, the goal's as big as the Great Gorge in the Grand Canyon there. Unfortunately, Alex hits it right at Zach McMath.
And now Alex Lima gets a talking to from our referee tonight, Nima Sagafi.
I mean, look, you're in your best times right now. You got to take that goal, quite frankly. Alex has been sharp. There's been a lot of penetration going down the Dynamo's right side of the field against Mark Birch. They found a lot of space over there, and really, if you look 15 minutes in, it should be 1-0.
Alex had a good chance against Austin 2 weeks ago to make it 2-0. It was a good save.
He's a significant signing, Matt. When you trade Jason Johnston, who's going to come back with the Chicago Fire on Friday to take the Dynamo on, look, he's been brought here because he's versatile, because he's got a good skill set. He's got to help this team this summer, especially with 3 of your next 4 against Western Conference opponents. He has to step up and prove out that he has been a good signing. And it's not just having a good game here or there. It's about consistency, and I think that's been the real issue for the Houston Dynamo this year, is how do you get consistent? There's been some very good games played. There's been some subpar games, maybe one or two, but you've got to find some consistency, and that's really what the manager, Owen Coyle's been harping on quite a lot.
Especially after the 2-0 defeat at Dallas on Friday. Dynamo had not lost by more than one on the road all season. Now it's 2 straight 2-goal defeats away from home, part of this brutal stretch of 10 of 14 away from home. They do come home. They stay home for Friday's night's game against Chicago as Cochran battles Doyle.
Yeah, Dynamo have had a lot of Friday night, national game of the week type things, which also alters your week of training, and it's been kind of interesting. But I spoke to Owen Coyle today, and I know you have this week as well, Matt. And again, his biggest one is to find consistency with this team. But make no mistake, talking to him, this game is valuable to make an impression on him and his staff.
Sanchez has been lively tonight. Hoffman couldn't settle as Jared Watts playing in that defensive midfield role. He's typically a center back.
And you mentioned it early. That's a blow. 4 to 6 weeks for Lovejoy.
Alundu pulls it wide. Such a bright start to his rookie season. The goal and the assist against Montreal a couple months ago. And with Brad Davis out with the bone bruise and recalled, or held back, I should say, from the U.S. Gold Cup team, you figured Lovejoy would be in for some possible starts. Big minutes here in the month of July, but disappointing injury for the rookie out of North Carolina.
Yeah, and Owen Coyle mentioned to me that, look, he was trying to move him into a place where he was less nervous in starts in games. Coming off the bench, he was incredibly effective with his energy, but they were trying to get him to a place where starting games he'd be less nervous and could get into games in a little bit more comfortable way and sort of change just being a guy that comes off the bench to change the game, which, by the way, he's been very good at. Yeah, so Colorado's trying to push 3 high with Alundu and Kevin Doyle, and then on the right here, Sanchez at times against the Dynamo back four, trying to sort of make Corey Ash and Kofi Sarkodie defend a bit more, but the Dynamo have gotten forward quite well in this game.
Sarkodie dealt with the hop pretty well. Now a shot from distance from Doyle and a hand at the end from Willis. It will go out for a Colorado corner kick. May have been going wide. Willis did not want to take a chance. Doyle from about 25 yards out.
Well, if you're a Colorado Rapids fan, you're going to say, okay, I like that from Kevin Doyle. Takes a shot quickly, makes a little space for himself, and releases this pretty quickly here. There's a bit of a screen from a Dynamo defender. This is good work from Joe Willis, the big man formerly of DC United.
Was a big.
Might have saw that a little bit late.
Yeah, and just a touch to parry it wide. He was a big part of the DC United run to the Open Cup title 2 years ago. It's Sanchez to take it from the far side. High looping delivery. Watts wins it at the back post. Horst, good clearing header of the second ball. Glenn, typically it's Horst on the front end of that, doing what Watts just did, so Horst may be more aware of that than anybody else on the Dynamo end.
Yeah, Davis Horst has knocked down a couple headers this year that have led to goals. One we can remember in L.A. to Nathan Sturgis. So he's definitely a threat. He's an option. He's somebody that teams have to certainly consider off every set piece, whether he's directly involved with it or not. And I do like the way the Dynamo this year have switched up and added a lot of variety to the set piece.
Yeah, 8 goals from set pieces this year, including corner kicks. A lot of good variety, some short.
Yeah, short corners, a nice mixture of stuff. Different delivery, hitting different areas, and a lot of that is because teams have been so proficient of, watching tape and seeing how teams do their set pieces. It's almost as though you got to change them up weekly now.
Alundu trying to spin away from Ash. Cochran, good help. And it makes it all the way back.
Yeah, by the way, it's nice and muggy here too tonight. We had an unbelievable deluge of rain here that flooded streets here, and the drainage here in Houston is not very good, so people had a hard time getting around. That's why this game is so delayed. But, boy, the air is just so thick and heavy here tonight.
Alundu against Ash. Turns him. Top of the box, Alundu. Good help from Sturgis. Sealed off the central area of the box, and then it's lost by Steinberger. Good sliding challenge from Texas native Dylan Powers. Mark Birch draws the foul. Free kick. Colorado, they'll go across the back. 21st minute from BBVA Compass Stadium with Glenn Davis. I'm Matt Peterson. We're on Yahoo Sports Radio 1560 AM and the U.S. Soccer YouTube channel. Thanks for staying with us on a late Tuesday night. Good interplay here. Watts finds Marlon Hairston. Good tackle, Nate Sturgis.
First time Hairston got forward, and look where the Dynamo hit. They try to hit the space he's in, but some good lateral cover out of the middle from Colorado. But that was the first time Hairston got forward, and Sturgis got in a beautifully well-timed tackle as the Dynamo earn a free kick here.
Cronin called for the foul. Corey Ash gets his second start of the season, both coming here in the Open Cup.
Yeah, Cronin's playing higher up the field. Watts is sort of the shield for the two center backs and is pretty locked in kind of at the tip of a triangle there. He's on the ball now for Colorado, protecting the two center backs, O'Neill and Greenspan.
Glenn, it seems like Colorado having a tough time finding that outlet in the center of the park as Alundu gets in behind Sarkoti, who stays with it well, goes back to Sturgis. But they seem to be trying to find Watts, but a lot of wayward balls in that central midfield area for Colorado.
Well, I don't think any doubt. You're trying to find the feet of Dylan Powers from a playmaking standpoint. You're trying to find the feet of Vicente Sanchez, and if you're playing into a striker, it's Doyle who you want to hold the game up.
Good turn from Alex Lima.
That's a good ball and good run.
Hoffman's onside, and it's right at Zach McMath. Second good chance for the Dynamo. That one falling to Chandler Hoffman.
Great run from Hoffman at an angle and a wonderfully weighted pass.
Now Steinberger could not get to it. A goal kick to Colorado.
Steinberger's out of Butler University. Has gotten limited minutes, but this is a vital match for him to produce something and show his skills off to a coaching staff. But this, unfortunately, is the end of the run. We missed the beauty of it. There we see a little bit more of it. It's that run between a center back and an outside back at an angle that's dangerous, and it has to be timed perfectly. It was. And let's credit McMath for making himself big. And, these are chances, though, that the Dynamo have gotten here. They're pretty clear chances that have got to be taken. Alex has had one now. Hoffman has had one. But, again, I think they're playing the game brightly. The ball's moving off their feet quick. They look energized. And I think sometimes we see in the Open Cup younger players getting a chance, guys that haven't played a lot. They're going to make this a lively game.
Yeah, Coyle's been very honest with his lineup selections. Even basically tipping his hand early in the week saying there'll be 10 or 11 changes. So the opposition knows it's coming. His team can prepare. They know they'll be in the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, with the game on Friday, and let's get back to this.
Here's Alundu against Sarkoti. Sarkoti, good patient defending. Then Alundu fakes the cross into the area. Good cover from Cochran. It's a corner kick to Colorado.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Patient defending slows them down. It allows center backs to get back in position, to get themselves stable in an area where they can look at the ball and defend it properly. So that's all about Kofi Sarkoti, slowing that attacker down in order for others to get back behind the ball and get positioned well to deal with the cross.
Sanchez with another corner kick for the Rapids. Entertaining game thus far. 25 minutes gone here in the round of 16. The Uruguayan driven. And a brave header from Alex Lima to clear. It falls to Cronin. Good pressure from both Steinberger and Hoffman leads to a goal kick.
Yeah, absolutely. They may not have blocked it. They may, that's getting in the head of a shooter there and altering his shot. That's good work from Steinberger and Hoffman, as you mentioned. Cronin, all those years in San Jose now, wearing the captain's armband. You just wonder what the Rapids really are about, where they're trying to go, what sort of purpose of play they're about. They're trying to find an identity, I truly believe.
Yeah, they brought in a lot of veterans in the offseason, including Cronin, Marcelo Sarvis, who's on the bench tonight. Good turn from Alex Lima, 1 versus 3. Hairston, maybe a rash challenge. He had help, now he'll go in the book. And good work from Alex, 1 versus 3, draws a dangerous set piece.
He's on fire, and he's running at people, and he's not afraid to put people in a position. He had 3 guys chasing him there.
Yeah, you wonder why Hairston went into that tackle with the help, but trying to make a play. He has not played in MLS this season. Former Generation Adidas player, number 12 pick out of Louisville last year. Been on loan with a Charlotte Independence this year, 6 games, 4 starts.
Great Louisville program under Ken Lola, which has got a spectacular college soccer stadium now. But Louisville's produced some good players.
A right-footed and left-footed option, Miranda or Lima. It's Miranda towards the back post. Easy claim for McMath.
It's not a good ball. It's hung up in the air. I'm not really quite sure if he was trying to whip it in there or if he was trying to go over the top of McMath. But in the end, it was almost as though it was a pass back. It was a gimme, and it was wasted.
And that will surely draw the ire of the coaching staff. So much goes into those set piece planning and preparation, and when you waste them,
you can't get the delivery. Everything else is a moot point. But I do like a lot of the Dynamo delivery prior, off corners, during the run of play tonight. They've been hit hard. They've been hit hard, and they've been hit with pace, which, you know, is tough for defenders to react to balls that are hit with pace. Not only if they're hit on the ground here tonight, but you know, whipped in there that just come in, and you certainly have to react to very quickly.
The flag came up as Horst gave a strong challenge from Alundu. Also a little bit of a different look tonight, Glenn, with 2 forwards, Hoffman and Minotas. A few more runners in the box sometimes on these deliveries from wide.
Yeah, and one of them's got to drop in and help on the defensive side. One of them's got to stay high, but one of them certainly has to come back on the defensive side to help out the midfield. And in this case, it's Minotas here. You see him chasing Watts.
Watts with Powers. Now Cronin. And Sanchez as the Dynamo drop off a bit. Sanchez from distance, and almost a big mistake from Willis, who maybe misread it with the knuckle, but in the end falls right between his feet. He's able to recover.
Perfect example of why you're not hesitant to shoot on a night when the surface is slick and test the goalkeeper. Jumped off the left foot of Vicente Sanchez, who kind of came into an interior position there.
And now the flag is up on Alundu.
Good tight line from the Dynamo. Kofi Sarkodie was nice and tight. You saw people looking right and left to make sure they had a tight line, and in the end, caught a player offside.
It's fun to watch, Glenn. Vicente Sanchez, great career, 35 years of age, but he is up for it tonight. He's not just, you know, a passenger. He is probably the most creative player so far for Colorado here a half hour in.
No, I don't think any question. I mean, it's how you use a 35-year-old. If you're expecting him to run like he was 25, you know, you're wrong. I mean, how do you build a team around him? How do you produce and define a role for a player like that you get the best out of him? I know he started games this year. Probably not a 90-minute player, but you can get tremendous value out of a man like him.
There's Watts, well-weighted ball, Kevin Doyle. Cochran recovers. Doyle looking for help onto his left. Cochran forces him back. And now it's Mark Birch with 3 in the box. Driven ball, Cronin just wide at the near post. But a good build-up from the Rapids.
Well, this is a dangerous moment here, and you know, you concede the first goal in this game to Colorado when you've really had the run of play and have created the better chances. It's problematic, but we do know Mark Birch has a very powerful left foot, and Cronin makes a good run, gets into a good area, meets the ball at the right time. Problems. I mean, those driven low crosses tonight, slick surface here, a little flick here or there, a deflection off somebody could be the difference in a game like this.
Yeah, these teams walked the field, the coaches walked the field, and you feel in that final team talk they said keep the ball low, especially in the areas. And you look at the size of the center backs too, it makes sense. Horst and Cochran for the Dynamo, and Good turn that time from Miranda. Hoffman took some contact, but all four center backs are well over 6 foot, so it makes sense to keep the crosses low.
Well, I mean, with Cochran and Horst, exactly. I mean, don't hang it up there to them. Don't make them look good. Don't make it easy for them. You try to take them out of the comfort zone. Play the game on the floor. Try to play 1-2s against them. Try to pull them out of central areas by getting some good penetration wide. This is the game you play with central defenders. If you notice that they're having to come out of the middle and provide cover right and left and for their outside backs, and you know you're doing something right.
There's Cochran out for a Rapids throw-in. Vicente Sanchez. We'll leave it for Hairston. 31st minute. The Houston Dynamo nothing, the Colorado Rapids nothing. First ever Open Cup meeting between these teams. Dynamo trying to get to the quarterfinals, first time since '09. It's been since 2006 since the Rapids made the Final Eight. Sturgis.
Oh, tremendous run here from Manotas. Just made a little semicircle, kept himself on side, showed Sturgis where he wanted the ball.
Now it's Miranda, Sarkoti, big service to the back post, and Hairston took no chances. Corner kick to the Dynamo.
Yeah, I don't like it flighted. I want it driven in there. There's 3 players in the box. Hit that hard, hit that low, whip it in with some pace. Don't hang it up trying to pick a guy's head out there. You got 3 options. Go for the guy at the near post. If it misses him, you got 2 others running onto it. It's choices you make in these wide areas that can be the difference.
Miranda, punched away by McMath.
See, I say, why don't you catch that? I mean, I know it's a wet night. Maybe that's the reason why he's punching it.
Sarkoti, that was whipped in, and a flicked header that time for Amaro Manotas. And it's a goal kick to Colorado.
Yeah,
but
that's the type of delivery we're looking for from Kofi Sarkoti. And going back to Zach McMath, he catches and holds that ball. He's in possession. The Dynamo don't get that chance, and it's flashed over the top. But this is beautiful. Wraps his foot around it. Header's got to be better there. It's great delivery. That's got to be on target. So, you know, really the category the Dynamo's struggling right now is the finishing category. I think they've had 3 quality chances here.
Manotas, Hoffman, and Alex Lima. The diehard stuck around. 2-hour, 48-minute weather delay. This game scheduled to kick off at 7:30.
Well, it gave us a chance to watch the U.S. women win 2-0 over Germany and see a couple of Houston Dash players, Carly Lloyd, Megan Klingenberg, Morgan Bryan, all have outstanding games. And it allowed us to flip over and watch Argentina smash Paraguay 6-1. So, you know, maybe there was a secondary reason for the rain here tonight. Allow us to see some of those other matches before coming down here. And this is entertaining.
Yeah, Glenn, what is showing from the U.S. tonight? Germany, the favorite, going into the tournament. But the U.S., I think just their body language after the game, they've been under a lot of pressure, a lot of criticism of their style of play, and I think tonight, a lot more freedom.
I think the criticism has been great. I think the healthy pressure plays a part in the United States turning this tournament around. I'm sorry. I truly believe that through the media, the fans. After the Colombia game, there was a bit of a backlash that just winning isn't enough anymore, and I think that's progressive. I think that's an incredibly good sign, and anybody who has a problem with that doesn't get it. And I think that healthy pressure had something to do with helping move the U.S. forward and change attitudes potentially and energy.
A nice 1-2 that time between Manotas and Lima, negated by an offside flag. The final, of course, is Sunday. U.S. now has an extra day of rest. They'll watch Japan and England tomorrow. And the U.S. looking for their 3rd World Cup crown. Carly Lloyd definitely in contention for player of the tournament. She's been voted man of the match 3 straight games, has scored in 3 straight, and maybe she has one more big goal up her sleeve after 2 Olympic winners.
I'd love to see it happen because, you know, in some ways she's been a little bit under the limelight of the stardom of and the out there-ness of you know, Abby Wambach and Alex Morgan and you know, without a doubt, these are 2 wonderful soccer players. But I think Carly Lloyd has kind of been overshadowed at times by that. And I she was outstanding today. I thought she carried the team. And the real thing is the back four for the U.S. in the last 3 games, really, they're not conceding any chances. I mean, Hope Solo has had little to do. And that includes the Houston Dash player, Megan Klingenberg.
Could be U.S. against Japan for the 2nd straight World Cup, or U.S. against England the day after July 4th. How fun would that be? Watts with Sanchez. 10 minutes to halftime. The Dynamo and the Rapids scoreless. They played to a scoreless game here in the MLS regular season, March 28th. Rapids 9 ties this year. Everything has been low scoring with them. They've only scored 12 goals, and they've only conceded 17 in 17 games in the regular season.
It's tough. Shows you have some things in place if you're not conceding goals, but the question is, how do they turn this into a little bit more attack-oriented team, and how do they become more dangerous? How do they win games? They're not winning games.
Severe struggles at home at Dick's Sporting Goods Park. They will be home for their next 5, starting July 4th against Vancouver. But
Owen Coyle, you could see, was not happy with how easily Alex gave that back heel away and gave possession back to Colorado. There's been some bright play, though. You know, Manotas, Alex, Miranda, Hoffman, that 4 have looked good. There's been some good, bright energy here. Created some chances, have gotten some width and penetration, but got to produce goals.
Bad giveaway that time by Joseph Greenspan, picked up by Miranda. Colorado gets back well. Miranda just past Sanchez. Now it's Ash looking to serve. Low service. Cleared by Greenspan. Now it's Sanchez twisting past Steinberger. Ash working back to slow down Doyle.
Sente had a bit of a turn of pace there for over 5 yards, and here he is. He's getting a lot of the ball, and that's what Colorado wants. Dylan Powers, to me, has been pretty ghost-like in this game so far. Hasn't gotten on the ball much, has moved into areas higher up the field, almost acting like a center forward when Doyle either pulls out or goes back into midfield, but not enough from Dylan Powers. Not seeing him get on the ball a lot either.
Cochran called for a foul on Doyle. There's a veteran forward against a young center back. Maybe a wise play that time by Doyle.
Yeah, so there's a wonderful night for A.J. Cochran to go up against a guy who's played in the Premier League, who knows all the tricks, knows how to use his body, who's trying to pull him and drag him out of the middle and take him places he doesn't want to go. It's a wonderful opportunity for a second-year player out of the University of Wisconsin.
Ash recovered just in time. Now Cochran, strong clearance against Sanchez. Dynamo can possibly break here. It's Manotas. Wants a forward run, instead just wide right, Miranda.
I think Manotas could have got that ball out there faster and broke in front of that player, and the Dynamo would have been out. Instead, they've got to go all the way back to their goalkeeper here.
Hoffman scrapping with Greenspan. O'Neal away. Watts around Steinberger. Watts talking with the referee. Here's Alex Lima with time.
Yeah, so Alex is kind of settled in a little bit now the last 15 minutes. I'd like to see him grab the ball again, get on the ball again, go after Hairston. He's got a yellow card. Get back more involved again like he was initially.
Good composure there in tight spaces for Manotas.
Yeah, Dynamo moving the ball well here on this surface. I love the way that's left by Alex.
Here's Corey Ash, edge of the box, chested down Hoffman. Tried it first time, and another claim, Zach McMath.
Again, build up, getting strikers in good positions, lacking the finish. That's a difficult finish. Again, Hoffman mobile, getting in there. He's gotten some shots off tonight, so it's positive from him. He's got to score a goal now.
Now it's Sanchez. Doyle tried it first time. No problem at the near post. Joe Willis.
It's a big man, by the way, out of the University of Denver. Makes the goal look very small.
6'5". acquired by the Dynamo in a trade this offseason from DC United. Good strength that time. Manotas out-muscled. Shane O'Neill falls back to Alex. Watts slows it down. Steinberger towards the corner. Here's Lionel Miranda against O'Neill. Miranda to the near post. Another chance for Steinberger, but he couldn't get it on target. A goal kick to Colorado.
And Steinberger getting in the box. Miranda's providing some good penetration out wide. So, again, there's a lot of really good elements to the Dynamo attack here tonight. They're just lacking that final execution. But the amount of penetration they've had out wide here has been excellent, because they've certainly gone after Mark Birch and Hairston, and they've been getting behind them. They've been penetrating. It's pulling people out of the middle slightly. It's altering people. They just have to now get the game's first goal, because they've produced the better soccer.
Cochran strong in the air. Hoffman. Now it's won by Cronin. Powers wide to Sanchez.
No, let's not forget, Colorado lost a boatload of pace with Deshaun Brown. He himself would make teams look at you differently. See, this is Alex tonight. He's seemingly having a very good time.
Now Manotas to an overlapping Sarkody. Good block that time in the end by Mark Birch.
Yeah, good recovery from Birch, and it looked as though the Dynamo had penetrated, sealed off the cross. Another corner, another opportunity here on the stroke of halftime to maybe get something. Sarkody's been getting up and down the right. He's been getting good delivery in 9 out of 10 times, and he's looking solid at right back.
Settled Hoffman back to Sarkody onto his left, driven ball towards the spot. And that's the bread and butter for Joseph Greenspan, the 6'6" center back out of the Naval Academy. Heavy touch Miranda, won by Hairston. Bad giveaway that time by Greenspan.
Yeah, so now he's out of the middle. This is an opportunity to get some delivery in.
Sturgis to the near post, and it's Mano Manotas. And the Dynamo have a 1-0 goal. Mauro Manotas, his first Dynamo goal, and it comes here in the round of 16. Great near post run.
He's been exceptional tonight, and let's not forget, he's only 19 years of age. He's been brought here. He's fitting in very, very quickly. He's been mobile. He's been confident on the ball. This looks to be a very good Dynamo signing. Now let's not get ahead of ourselves, but wonderful finish. And again, the Dynamo pulled the big man out of the middle, Greenspan, and that's the area they hit with the delivery, and it reaps benefits. Excellent goal.
Yeah, Glenn, Greenspan's been good in the air tonight, but his distribution's been a bit shaky.
Well, he was out trying to defend the cross, and he needs to be in the middle to defend, defend the delivery, not be out wide dealing with somebody trying to get across in. And that's the exact area that Manotas got into on the move, and it's a wonderful header. Hey, he's 6 foot tall, too. Manotas is a good aerial player as well. He can be a target as well. And look, he's only 19. He's going to fill out. He's going to get stronger. He's going to get more powerful in the future. But, boy, I think the Dynamo have a lot to work with this young man.
Shane O'Neill from distance. That was 45 yards out, knuckled a bit, but Willis stayed with it. We haven't really mentioned Shane O'Neill tonight, 21-year-old, born in Ireland, raised in Colorado, but a regular the last few years with the U20s and 23s.
Yeah, he's got dual citizenship, so he just collared Manotas a second ago, who's now kind of holding his head. That's what you get for scoring against the Rapids.
Yeah, maybe his funny bone. Glenn, he's grabbing his elbow and kind of awkwardly shaking it. Meanwhile, Sanchez forward, a calm back heel. Hairston, Powers wants the 1-2. Good back heel. Hairston is in, and it's off the post. Willis did just enough with his back leg, but that was a spectacular play between Dylan Powers and Marlon Hairston.
Well, I think A.J. Cochran's got to be a little bit more in a covering position. Just that slight bit. He's got to assume the worst, and that is that Harrison can break through and beat somebody. And you're right, somehow gratuitously, Willis got a piece of it. Goes off the bar, or off the post.
Glenn, Dylan Powers, 9 assists a year ago, was the Rookie of the Year a few seasons ago. 20 assists now in 3 years, but he loves that play, coming to the top of the box, settling it, and then returning it to the man on a 1-2, and that was just what he did with Hairston.
Hey, he's very good in combination. He had a father that I used to play against, Mike Powers, who was an exceptional player, played the indoor game into his 40s.
Good block, Horst against Alundu.
You know, you say yourself about Dylan Powers, it's his 3rd year in Major League Soccer. You know, is there the next platform for him, and what is that? You know, is this a guy that can make a push for the national team? Does he desire that? Because he does have a lot of capability. Got a good, strong body type as well. He's built kind of low to the ground, low center of gravity.
Here's Mauro Manotas looking for number 2. And there's the halftime whistle. We had 1 minute of time added on. Chances aplenty. Hairston at the end for Colorado. Early on, it was Hoffman and Alex Lima, but the 19-year-old Glenn Mauro Manotas, his first Dynamo goal, and it gives the Dynamo a 1-0 lead here at halftime.
Yeah, I think it's important to get out of the half here winning 1-0, because I think you did take the game to Colorado more than they took it to you. And of course, you know, you got a good bit of fortune at the end there with the Joe Willis save, but there's been some real bright spots. The ball has moved quickly off the Dynamo feet here tonight. Their back four's got to tighten it up slightly and protect each other and cover a little bit better for each other, but a good half.
We'll take our first break. We come back with the Houston Methodist Halftime Show. On the radio side, we'll have highlight scores from across the U.S. Open Cup. On the web stream side, we'll have pre-planned video content, which we hope you'll enjoy. Halftime from BBVA Compass Stadium in the 2015 Lamar Hunt. Round of 16, it's the Dynamo 1, Colorado 0.
As a BBVA Compass customer, you have the chance to show your true colors every time you open your wallet.
Wow. Oh, yeah.
Presenting Dynamo Banking, featuring debit and credit card options that can help you reach your goals. Open your account today at any of our 80 locations in Houston or online at bbvacompass.com/dynamo. Team works in soccer and in banking.
BHP Billiton is a leading global resources company with mining and oil and gas interests worldwide. Our reputation is built on proven performance, helping provide the energy that keeps the world moving, cities growing, communities thriving. And we combine this innovative spirit with a commitment to sustainability, developing natural resources with responsibility and integrity, today and for years to come. BHP Billiton, resourcing the future.
America, center of equal daughters, equal sons, all alike and good, grown, ungrown, young or old, strong, ample, fair, enduring, capable, rich, perennial with the earth, with freedom, law, and love.
He's taking the world by storm. Grammy-nominated Ed Sheeran, live in concert. BBVA Compass Stadium, September 3rd, with special guest Christina Perri. Tickets on sale now at bbvacompassstadium.com, axs.com, or by phone. The #1 selling album, Multiply, is in stores and online now. There's more at edsheeran.com. Produced by AEG Live and the Messina Group.
Learn soccer the Dynamo way and start your path to the pros. The Houston Dynamo offer youth programs for every age and skill level, from a challenging introduction to soccer to intensive competition training and opportunities to play for the Dynamo Academy.
This is Ricardo Clark of the Houston Dynamo. The Dynamo youth programs offer the professional environment required to develop your game and prepare you for success.
To find out more or to register for Dynamo youth programs, visit HoustonDynamo.com.
This event is such a special event, something I absolutely look forward to every single year. You know, for myself, for my family, for our fans, supporters, our organization, and really our community. This is an opportunity for all of us to come together in this beautiful stadium over a sport, enjoy a game of soccer, enjoy each other's company, but most of all, show our support to the members of our military and bring thanks to you guys for what you do.
City of Houston is the best city in the United States for veterans. It's the second largest population of veterans in the country, and the reason for that is because there's so many organizations. There's such a great collaboration of things that are happening. And then we have our sports teams like the Dynamo and the Dash, who have done such a great job recognizing the military and military families. So
Dynamo Armed Forces Appreciation Night all started back in 2009, formed as Brad's Brigade. Since then, every single branch of the military has been represented each year, and the campaign has grown tremendously year in and year out.
From 500 tickets donated to Armed Forces members in 2009 to 2,600 tickets last year.
This year, in 2015, we are looking to push the limits even further, and we've set a goal of 3,000 tickets. And with y'all's supports and our community support, we really feel like we can get there. All of these tickets are purchased and donated by Dynamo fans, Dynamo members, and our corporate sponsors, with part of the proceeds going back to an organization called Bandit Brigade Outdoors. Bandit Brigade Outdoors is an organization that provides moral boosting outdoor events for our active duty military, injured and disabled military members, and their families.
I was talking to Brad a little bit earlier. I know a little bit about the story, where he came from. And it's always great, you know, and I know Haley does it for the Dash too, and she served in the Marine Corps. But people like Brad, I mean, they're just, you come from a military family, there's always some connection, and you just want to give something back. So Houston is full of people who actually do things. There's a lot of people out there who say they support our troops, but there are a lot of people who actually step up and do something. So really grateful for the organization.
Everyone says we support our military and support what you guys do, and this is an opportunity for everybody to really step up and take action and really make a difference. I think sometimes we forget how lucky we are to truly live in such a great country, and it's because of our service members, you know, sacrificing, some making the ultimate sacrifice, but willing to put everything on the line to keep us free. And for that, I truly appreciate it. I know all of our fans, and I know our community appreciates everything you guys have done.
And therefore, I will read part of the proclamation from the mayor. Whereas the City of Houston joins in celebration of the Houston Dynamo Armed Forces Appreciation Day as we honor and salute our troops and their families for their selfless dedication, sacrifice, and all that they do for our country. Therefore, I, on behalf of the mayor of the City of Houston, hereby proclaim July 3rd, 2015 as Houston Dynamo Armed Forces Appreciation Day here in Houston, Texas. Thank you.
I started playing soccer in Atlanta, Georgia, on the south side in Clayton County. That was my first organized team I played on. But to be fair, I started ever since I could walk, playing in the backyard with my brother and my dad. And that's where I pretty much learned all my fundamental skills was from my dad. My dad pretty much is the reason why I'm here today. He was always involved in the game. It was part of his culture growing up. And you know, he just kind of passed it on to me and my brother. He got me involved in the game, and he pretty much coached me until I was about 11 or 12 years old. He even calls me up, you know, after these games, and you know, tells me what I did good, what I did bad, and critiques my game, and you know, tells me what the team should be doing better. He's always been like that, and it's for a reason, because I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't be here where I am today if it wasn't for him. Sophomore year of college is when I really got serious about becoming a professional soccer player. But after that year, I entered the MLS draft and got drafted to New York, and yeah, the dream came true, and it's been a long road, big road since then.
Ricardo Clark, what a finish!
I'm already following my parents' footsteps by chasing them around on the weekends and during the weekdays with different practices and games and all that. So it's really cool to see them kind of doing what I did growing up. I'm just trying to be that supporting person, you know, that parent that can help my kids grow as much as possible, and whatever it be in the end, you know, I'll be happy for them.
The Easton neighborhood is a significant area to both the bank and to Houston. BBVA Compass Stadium is just around the corner, and we're honored to be a part of the area's revitalization and preservation.
We started a great tradition here. We opened BBVA Compass Stadium in May of 2012, and that's in that year was when our partnership with BBVA Compass began. We're thankful that we have great players on both the Dynamo and the Dash who serve as ambassadors in the community, who are willing to get out and participate in events like this.
There's another layer of mulch going down there. Mulch going.
It's been an amazing experience for all of us, and the girls are excited to see the women's team, and we never seen the house painted to now. It's like a new home now.
Nate was planting these plants over here. Obviously my planting's better, which you can obviously see. But no, it was a really cool experience. It's awesome to get involved in the community and give back to the people that support us.
For us today, we just did a little painting. Some people are, you know, putting the trims along the side of the deck and all that. So it's interesting that we get to learn things that we normally don't do.
It's a great partnership with the Dynamo and with the Dash and BBVA Compass to be able to work together to reinvest in Houston and build a better future for people. And this partnership's been going on for 4 years. And it gets better every year. It's just more meaningful. You're working with friends, you're making a difference in the community, making a difference on the East End, which of course the stadium's had such a huge impact on the East End. So it's just wonderful to come out and help people and make a difference in our communities together.
It was a great time. It's one of the things that our organization prides ourselves on, is giving back to the community, especially a house that's right here in our backyard. You know, it was a special day, a fun day. The whole Dash team was out here. They really enjoyed themselves, you know, and hopefully the Sosa family likes their new home.
Jugando con mi padre yo creo que mi hermano no había nacido. Mi hermano tiene 2 años menos que yo. Yo creo que mi hermano no había nacido. Si por jugar a fútbol entendemos patear la pelota, muy pequeño. Luego ya un poquito más serio, a lo mejor con mi hermano yendo al parque ya con 7 años, jugábamos contra los vecinos, con mi padre y tal. Y con eso, 8 o 9 años, mi padre nos llevó a una escuela en Barcelona de un tipo que era exjugador del Barcelona. Había montado una escuela allí y poco más o menos lo que hacíamos era pasárnoslo bien, pero con más niños y con más... Y ese es el primer recuerdo que tengo jugando un poco serio. Pero la realidad es que el fútbol ha estado desde siempre. Yo me acuerdo con una pelota a todas horas, durmiendo, yendo al baño, en el colegio, yendo a por el pan. Ha sido bastante universal, ¿no? Tanto serio como menos serio, pero siempre ha sido, la pelota siempre ha estado por ahí, por en medio. Mi papá fue jugador no profesional, pero jugó de delantero centro, por lo que sé, tenía buen olfato goleador, no como yo, y bueno, es un apasionado del fútbol. Pero sí, desde luego ha hecho sacrificios en el sentido de, al final quieres lo mejor para tus hijos, ¿no? Y tanto en el caso de mi hermano como en el mío, y tanto mi madre como mi padre, pero en el caso futbolístico seguramente más mi padre, pues él sabía que yo quería dedicarme a esto, y cuando tienes 14 años, pues tú eres el centro del universo, todo gira a tu alrededor, no te importa nada más que lo tuyo, y yo creo que en ese sentido mi padre supo escoger bien hacia dónde dirigirme, hacia quién dirigirme, y un poco sostenerte también. Por eso, cuando eres adolescente, pues por muy claro que lo tengas, estás un poco perdido, ¿no? Y en ese sentido yo creo que mis padres, y en particular mi padre, pues estuvieron muy cerca mío para ver exactamente qué es lo que necesitaba, si necesitaba a veces relajarme un poco, no tomármelo muy en serio, y cuando necesitaba a veces un empujón y lanzarme hacia ello, ¿no? Yo creo que quizá por ahí fueron más el sacrificio, pero yo creo que ellos no lo verían, no te lo describirían como un sacrificio, seguramente.
Out wide, right and left. They've got their outside backs in the attack. So I think it's been a good, solid 45 minutes. Let's see if they can build on it. Let's see what sort of response Colorado has.
And let's welcome those of you back on the web stream at US Soccer's YouTube channel with Glenn Davis. I'm Matt Peterson. 1-0 Dynamo. Rapids looking for the equalizer here in the second half. No changes at halftime, Glenn. And what are you expecting from Colorado as they look for a way back into this?
Yeah, I'm interested to see if they remain as interested in the game. They've had some energy themselves. Their way back in the game is the same way they created chances in the first half. It's get Vicente Sanchez on the ball. I think they've got to get Dylan Powers more involved, and Dylan himself has got to get himself more involved. And they've got to get a little bit more pressure on the ball, which I think they're trying to do here to start the second half, because the Dynamo have had that extra half a yard of space on the ball, which has allowed the likes of Miranda, Hoffman, Alex, Manotas, these guys to play and get into a bit of passing rhythm in tight areas.
It's 1-0 Houston. Mauro Manotas, his first Dynamo goal. He likes this Open Cup. Had an assist in his Dynamo debut, setting up Ricardo Clark in stoppage time against Austin 2 weeks ago. Now he has his first Dynamo goal and his first Houston start. Alex Lima, good settle, and he wins a throw-in.
Yeah, I want to see Alex, and I think, you know, everybody would like to see Alex now, you know, build off that first 45 minutes and produce another 45 where he's influential. This is a dangerous ball.
Big collision at the back. Kofi Sarkodie and Charles Alundu. Kofi comes out of it okay. A strong warning from our referee tonight, Nima Sagafi.
Kofi had to put his body on the line there to make a bad ball into something less bad, and it was a good play from him to just break that play up, put the danger out.
And now Lima called for a foul. Glenn, we saw Alundu 2 preseasons ago at Houston Sports Park. It was a blistery morning, and he really put on a good performance. He's only 20 years of age. He's from Cameroon, has a cap with the Cameroon national team. What do you think is the next step for him here in MLS?
Well, there's no doubt we've seen tonight he's explosive over short distances, and he can glide past people. I think end product, confidence. You know, how do you get more end product out of all that ability? And I think that's a question you have with a lot of players. The one guy I love talking about is Fabian Castillo in Dallas, because let's not forget how many years it took for him to finally, you know, be able to deliver the end product. And now he's one of the most exciting, most dangerous players in all of Major League Soccer. Every single MLS game, people are game planning for him.
Miscommunication at the back. Here's Hoffman onto his right at McMath. That was the center backs, Joseph Greenspan and Shane O'Neill, both going for the same ball, and it fell right to Hoffman. So, again, some rotation in the squad, Glenn, and a few center backs that haven't played much at all together, as Greenspan just signed June 5th from the Naval Academy.
Hey, he's a great story. I think for both teams, you say when you look at the lineup tonight, how cohesive can they be? And there may be moments where they're not cohesive, like right now. And you expect that maybe. And in the case of the Dynamo, it's looked a smooth 11 tonight.
Shane O'Neill.
I like Shane O'Neill. I liked him a couple years ago. I think he's got a big future. Got a lot of good qualities for a center back. You know, how do they get the best out of him? I just worry a little bit about Colorado, the level of, you know, sort of, they've just sort of flatlined. How are they going to punctuate out of that? How are they going to get out of that and move on to the next level, produce more wins?
Yeah, Glenn O'Neill.
Become more relevant on the field, maybe more relevant off it as well. How does it happen?
They have the All-Star game this year against Tottenham Hotspur.
Well, and the irony is Pablo Mastroeni is going to be coaching the All-Star team. And, you know, he's learning on the job as well. I don't think there's any question. Was a great player, Pablo. But he's learning on the job as well. I don't think it's easy to step into Major League Soccer and be handed a head coaching job and not have to learn as you go.
Horst recovered well, but a delayed foul on Horst against Dylan Powers. Went shoulder to shoulder against Powers.
I have no problem with that. It's good refereeing. He thought there was some sort of an advantage there. Now he's calling back the free kick. By the way, David Horst recovers a little bit quicker than we all think sometimes.
Vicente Sanchez to take this. Again, as we said in the first half, some big targets. Greenspan 6'6", Shane O'Neill about 6'2", 6'3". Powers is big. Good delivery near post. It's off the post. Goodness. Jared Watts, one we neglected to mention, 6'4".
No,
and
maybe Colorado needs a little bit of luck too. That's another thing that can help turn your fortunes around. We were directly behind in this booth where Vicente Sanchez delivers this ball. And I mean, this is tremendous delivery. And again, this is a clear header. It's a ball and a player meeting at the same time. It's almost as though he sort of ducked down too low. I don't know if he takes his eyes off the ball or what, but it's just incredible delivery.
Significant breakdown, Glenn, at the back that time. That was 2 men free, and Alundu can't settle it. He thought he was fouled as he makes appeals to our referee Nima Sagafi, but it was both Cronin and Watts that looked to get behind Sarkodie and Hoffman.
Clear header, and you can't say enough about Vicente Sanchez's delivery. I mean, you know, you want him on the field purely for that.
Lionel Miranda, well-weighted ball. Here's Hoffman. Touch takes him away from Greenspan. Back to Manotas, onto his left. Not enough to find Miranda, but it falls to Steinberger. His touch is heavy. Here comes Watts. Bit of a scrap in the middle of the field. Crowd here wanted a handball.
Colorado's had a good little push out of the locker room here in the second half. They look a little bit more energized. Clearly unlucky not to be tied here at 1.
Yeah, twice hitting the post. Once late in the first half, off the leg of Willis, and then off the post just before halftime. Kevin Doyle draws a foul on Cochran. Man down behind the play for Colorado. Looks like it's Jared Watts as the training staff of the Rapids goes onto the fields.
You know, Watts has kind of locked down that role in this game, playing in front of the 2 center backs. Not quite sure what happened to him. But I think Colorado, give them credit. They've come out of the locker room here. They got a little bit of an edge. Tremendous free kick by Vicente Sanchez. Yeah, really, they're unlucky not to have tied the game up early.
Stretching out that right leg right above the knee. Follow all the latest news in the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup at ussoccer.com. And you can follow the tournament on Twitter at Open Cup. What's the challenge, Glenn, when a central defender goes in the central midfield role in the case of Jared Watts tonight?
In some ways, the position he's playing is a little bit similar. You got to read the game. You got to stay locked into the middle. And in this case, he's got the support and security of 2 players behind him.
Well, the Dynamo need to be careful. They need to be more organized this time, as both Cronin and Watts broke through. Sanchez to take from a very similar spot. It's the last chance. Sanchez again. That wasn't as good of a ball. Ash there to head away.
Yeah, Corey Ash is an interesting story. Here's a 2-time MLS All-Star. We haven't seen on the field much, ever since DeMarcus Beasley was signed here in Houston as a designated player.
Big time challenge. And Shane O'Neill goes into the book for a professional foul.
Yeah, I think you said it right there. He's picking up a yellow card. Now he has to play the game differently as a center back. So you got Hairston, you got O'Neill both carrying yellows now. Those are 2 players you don't mind going after. And this is just, we got to kill off this counterattack, and just sticks Alex on the turn.
What would you like to see from the Dynamo now, Glenn? We've seen the physicality, we've seen the energy from the Rapids. How did the Dynamo answer?
Well, they got to push back on their own now. I mean, they're taking a bit of pressure from Colorado. Now they got to wrestle it back and understand that Colorado is not going to lay down. And in fact, they've made a change.
That's Marcelo Sarvis into the match.
Yeah, and that's a very experienced player coming on, a guy that's won cups with the LA Galaxy. And, look, already he's hit a wonderful ball here and has had a wonderful idea. So I think already you're going to see the quotient of Colorado go out just with the presence of Sarvis on the field now. They have become a better team now.
33-year-old Brazilian won 3 of the last 4 MLS Cups with the Galaxy. Sort of the odd man out due to the salary cap and Steven Gerrard coming in, but many people thought he was one of the big players for the Galaxy last postseason.
Oh, excellent. Him and Juninho in midfield. Yeah, I love Sarvis. And now Manotas just got basically mugged here by Greenspan.
Grabbing the back of his head, Dynamo with a dangerous set-piece chance about 30 yards out.
There he is, 19 years old, Colombian. Matt Jordan signing. Told a wonderful story about how he went down to Colombia, met the parents, and really did a lot of background work on the character side of things with Manotas. And here he is. He scored his first ever goal for the Houston Dynamo, fitting in nicely.
Looks like it'll be Lionel Miranda with this opportunity. We haven't seen him take many directly on goal, but this is a distance he might try that. McMath preparing his wall. Miranda scored in this competition in the last round, the opener against Austin. In the end, could not get it over the wall. Might have hit Birch or perhaps Greenspan. And now Ilundu, strong scrap that time with Sarkoti. Sarkoti tracking back, as is Steinberger. And good challenge, David Horst. Good tidy play from Sturgis as he draws a foul.
Yeah, let's see if the Dynamo can sort of reclaim this game a little bit through possession. And right now, I think the pressure that Colorado's been putting on the Dynamo, giving them less time on the ball, not allowing them to get their heads up, it's reaping benefits for the Rapids.
Now here's Ilundu. And a header pulled just wide. Vicente Sanchez. Perfect cross that time by Charles Ilundu. And Sanchez continuing the luck tonight for the snake-bitten Rapids.
Well, we talked about Ilundu and providing end product. Well, guess what? Here's your end product right now. Puts it right on the head of Sanchez. And, I mean, if you're Colorado, you're lamenting missed chances. This is wonderful work from the 20-year-old from Cameroon. And Vicente's got to score that goal. Colorado's hit a post here in the second half. They've been the better team out of the locker room. I don't think there's any question. Not allowing the Dynamo to get into a rhythm. They're creating the better chances.
Sarkoti back to Willis. Difficult ball to handle. He does well with it. Now the pressure of Sarvis, but it's right back to Cronin. Willis getting back in front of his goal. A nervous moment for Joe Willis.
Yeah, the Dynamo were a little bit on edge here. It was the first half where really they controlled this game through their possession, through the shape of their team. No question they go to the locker room the better team, but right now, out of the locker room, this is a transformed Colorado Rapids here. And clearly they have broken the rhythm of the Dynamo a little bit, and the Dynamo have had some nervy moments here, of some loss of possession in some bad areas of the field. And Colorado right now, because they've made a bigger commitment to getting pressure on the ball and limiting space and allowing people to get their head up with this type of work here with Sarvis coming on, is leading to good counterattacks.
Cochran trying to hold off Doyle. Mistimes the tackle. Doyle is in, and Doyle pulls it wide. Another huge chance for the Colorado Rapids, and it's Kevin Doyle, the big signing from Wolves, and he could not test Joe Willis.
Well, your designated player, you want him to produce that goal. He certainly gets into a good area, but right now, this is all Colorado. This is a wonderful touch from Doyle. And it's a difficult angle, the way he's running, the way his hips are facing, because he is kind of in a tight area, but he's trying to hit that far side netting and just can't produce the end product. But right now, it's 3 great chances for the Colorado Rapids, and they're continuing to run through the Dynamo here to start the second half.
Dynamo turned it over again. Now is Sanchez, forward ball for Doyle. And a goal kick now to the Dynamo and Joe Willis. And this is when, Glenn, you need that on-field leadership. A veteran, maybe someone like Nathan Sturgis or David Horst to take charge. Even Corey Ash, who hasn't played much, but he's been around the league a long time.
Yeah, I mean, there's opportunities to become a leader here for young players as well.
More opportunities. Good touch power. Sarkoti trying to hold him off, and he plays it safe over the end line. Rapids running to take the corner. Great spark in their step in this second half.
It's as though Colorado's got an extra field player. I mean, they're just first to everything. They're sharper, and they're putting the Dynamo under real pressure.
Dylan Powers to take this corner kick. Service towards the near post. Alundu trying to flick it towards the back post, and he put it over the crossbar. Goal kick, Houston.
Yeah, so here's where Alex, here's where, a young player like Steinberger, these guys have to get on the ball now and sort of begin to dictate the game through passing. Try and get things under control. Try and wrap your arms around it a little bit and wrap your arms around being uncomfortable right now and finding ways to get back in this game and get it back on your terms, because right now it's all Colorado Rapids.
Miranda having a very tough second half, turns it over again. Alundu towards Powers, well read by Horst, but Miranda, Glenn, seems to keep wanting to pinch into the middle where they keep losing the ball.
Yeah, a lot of unforced errors, a lot of forced errors. The two center backs now are in some ways being tempted to come out of the middle because things are breaking down in front of them. Maybe you just have to sit in a little bit defensively here, work on just making sure you got a good, honest team shape here and defend for 5 or 10 minutes and then see if you can take the game back a little bit.
Well, the Dynamo get a throw in, which will help the cause.
Good moment to walk to a throw in here and just sort of put a pause on the game a little bit, get still for a second.
Good strength from Miranda.
He needs some support here. Somebody's got to.
Glenn, you see that? It's, the season Colorado's having. Birch wanted help there from Alundu, didn't get it. Colorado gets the ball in the end, but the sort of signs you see from teams that are struggling.
It's tough. It's tough, and in a month or two, they've got to be careful not to be out of it. You can say all you want that MLS is pretty forgiving, and maybe there should be more consequence to not playing well and having bad records, but at this point, you're close to the halfway point of the Major League Soccer season.
11 points back of the final playoff place, and the Portland Timbers in the West at the halfway point for the Colorado Rapids. 15 points from 17 games.
And to be on record, Matt, to me this is a rebuild for the Houston Dynamo. They're rebuilding. A lot of new players, a coach that's inherited a team, and it's a rebuild from all fronts of the organization. And when you say rebuild, it's kind of hard not to say that you're not going to make the playoffs, and that's not one of your goals. But the fact is, the Western Conference, to me, is more difficult than the Eastern Conference. The challenges are bigger, they're greater. The environment you're going to, the surfaces, it's a little bit different. And brand new staff, I think, doing a wonderful job. You got a general manager now and Matt Jordan. But these things don't come together that quickly always. Building a team takes time, and patience does need to be afforded.
Kofi Sarkodie set to throw it in.
And of course, there's the age-old question about Cubo Torres and when he's going to arrive and get here, and what sort of impact will he make?
Giles Barnes will join Jamaica after Friday night's game. Could be gone as late as the 26th, the Gold Cup final. No corner kick for the Dynamo. The fans on the Walker end think otherwise. So no Barnes for the majority of July. Will Bruin is here. He is on the bench tonight. And Minota scoring his first goal tonight. He figures to get a decent amount of playing time in these summer months.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. His stock rises tonight with the goal. Luis Garrido didn't get called up to Honduras for the Gold Cup. There's where the Dynamo do get a break. Of course, Brad Davis has now been recalled due to the knee injury from the U.S. national team in the Gold Cup. So, what's the status with him and how long is he out? So, there's all these dynamics that teams have to deal with. But in the end, there's no excuses.
Alex Lima taking no chances. Long over the top. Dynamo, as you suggested, Glenn, maybe dropping off a bit.
When things get frantic, your lines can get pulled apart, and all of a sudden a team that's really been on the same page as a group of 11 isn't.
Here's Sanchez past Horse. He is in. What a great recovery tackle by A.J. Cochran. It was Horse with the initial header right back into pressure. Cochran bails him out.
Well, A.J. Cochran makes a saving play here, because as sure as I'm thinking when I see that ball from Sarvis and that touch, I'm thinking Sanchez is in. And with that sort of hook tackle, Cochran comes to save the day. And the Dynamo, I think at this point in the second half, 68th minute, fortunate.
Sanchez, another header towards the back post, or a corner, I should say, looking for a header from Powers. And it's another Colorado throw-in. Glenn, we didn't mention it when he came on, but 55th minute, Marcelo Sarvis came on, and now a free kick to Colorado. But Sarvis might be a big ingredient in this surge from the Rapids.
Well, they already had a good surge out of the locker room, and he's only going to add to it. And like I said, when he came on, your team gets better. It grows a couple inches when Marcelo Sarvis is on the field. Lots of experience, great decision-making, and we've seen him already hit four penetrating passes that have turned the Dynamo defense. Wonderful player.
It's going to be Sarvas or Sanchez. Three-man wall for Houston. Sanchez towards the back post, and it's just a bit high. Well, Willis hung on his line. And it was Kevin Doyle. More or less a free header, but just a little bit beyond his reach.
I don't think without any question that this is 20-plus minutes now being outplayed by the Colorado Rapids, and I would say at this point you're pretty fortunate this game is not 1-1 right now. So credit Pablo Mastroeni and their staff for getting this team more motivated, applying higher pressure, putting the Dynamo in an area where they're just, hunting the ball very quickly and making it hard for them to get any rhythm going. And the Dynamo are looking to try and find that. Some way they got to find some rhythm here in the second half, get the ball back and maintain a little bit of control on this game through ball possession.
Powers, good layoff. What a save from Joe Willis against Marcelo Sarvas. Great interplay from the Rapids, but Willis, his biggest save of the night.
Well, again, they draw three there. It's a good layoff. I think there's a slight deflection after Sarvis hits this, but fantastic from the big man. He gets down very big, very quickly and very well for a big man.
Vicente Sanchez once again, Glenn, with the layoff.
He's been involved with everything.
Miranda presses high. Here comes Birch out of the back. Trying to bend it for Powers. Willis hesitated. Now he gets there ahead of the attacking midfielder Powers.
Great idea from Birch, and he just kind of swings it off a center back and tries to bend it into the path of Powers. Overhit it a little bit, but wonderful idea because, again, from our vantage point here, we were right behind Mark Birch when he hit that, and it looked very threatening. Well, now we look down at the Dynamo bench. It looks like Ricardo Clark and Hunter's going to come on now. So they got a veteran out there to maybe stabilize things in midfield. I think that's what Owen Coyle's seeing right now.
Here's Leonel Miranda through a crowd, and he pulls it wide. Hunter is an outside back. Can also play some central midfield. He played that in college at University of Denver. We'll see where Hunter goes, and you can bet Clark will go to the center of the park.
Yeah, they're being brought on to kind of wrestle this game back. I don't think there's any question. Ricardo Clark's experience is, hey, go in there and help us marginalize the Colorado Rapids midfield and help us gain more control of that middle third of the field. But this is the problem here. There's a lot over the top right now that Colorado's finding.
Alundu towards the near post, another opportunity. That one was Sanchez once again. He can't find the back of the net. And the Dynamo again let off the hook.
Yeah, the Rapids have broke on a number of occasions here, very dangerously here in the second half.
It's Mauro Manotas coming off for Ricardo Clark, and Taylor Hunter is going to come on for David Horst. So Horst played 90 minutes in Dallas on Friday night, goes 72 minutes today, and Taylor Hunter will go in most likely at center back.
Yeah, good 72 minutes for both of these. I like taking Manotas out here from Owen Coyle because he comes out of success. He's 19. He's got the lone goal of this game. He's getting a bit of a standing ovation from the fans behind the bench. Great move. And I think now you're putting Taylor Hunter in a place where you brought him back on loan and you're going, okay, now show us what you can do in the Open Cup. These are vital minutes for him coming in here. He's under some real pressure now with a 1-0 lead here against Colorado, who right now has produced a number of good chances against the Dynamo in the second half. So big moment for Taylor Hunter.
Lost by Sturgis. The break was on for Colorado, but Sanchez could not find an outlet. Colorado throwing numbers forward as they look for the equalizer. Doyle dropping off to win it. Wide right, Marlon Hairston. Well-weighted ball, Cronin. Marlon Hairston's in, and a good clearance that time from Cochran. It's a Rapids corner kick, but if not for Cochran's slide, that was on a platter for Kevin Doyle.
A.J. Cochran has intervened 2 or 3 times here tonight at the moment of truth and made very, very big plays. This is one of them. And how is he going to mesh now with Taylor Hunter, a young rookie? These are 2 young center backs in there for the Dynamo trying to see this game out and advance in the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup.
4th round selection out of University of Denver. Taylor Hunter on loan in his home state with Colorado Springs. Here's Vicente Sanchez towards the near post. It falls in the box. And Alex takes charge to clear. And Miranda cannot run it down before it's out. Kevin Doyle.
And this is what Doyle does. He can play with his back to goal. He's a hold-up player. He's wily around the box. You know, how do the Rapids play into his feet consistently in the future?
Great ball, Birch. Ash did very well tracking Vicente Sanchez.
Excellent comment, Matt. Corey Ash, very honest defending there. Went with the run of Sanchez, who's been getting into the back post. He's been getting into the penalty box. He had that other header that he probably should have scored upon. This time, Corey Ash tracks him beautifully.
So, Glenn, what can the Dynamo do here the last 16 minutes to gain more control of this game? They're the home team. They have the lead. It just doesn't seem like it.
Got to find the ball, and they got to keep the ball. And again, this is a category that they've been dominated in the second half. That's why Ricardo Clark has been brought on. It's helped them gain a measure of the midfield back. And again, I think a lot of this credit has to go to Colorado. It's maybe been a slow starting first half for them. I mean, as much as the Dynamo, I thought, comprehensively won the first half, Colorado, without a doubt, has won the second half.
Hoffman with Steinberger. Miranda wrestled down, free kick to Houston, and Miranda contesting. That's the 3rd or 4th foul for Mark Birch.
It's okay. These stops are good for the Dynamo. Again, gets the game a little bit still, calms things down. They have the 1-0 lead.
Good minutes on loan with Colorado Springs, 10 starts. As Miranda plays it to Clark, wide left, here's Ash. Towards Hoffman, and it's just past the post. Good snap header from Chandler Hoffman off to the Ash service.
I think he's had a good game. I think he's gotten into goal scoring positions. He just needs a goal. I think if Chandler Hoffman were to connect here and produce a goal here, it would do wonders for him. Again, because the pace is in the delivery, if you meet it, it's going to fly off your head, and that's exactly what it does from Hoffman. But he's on the move. He's moving towards the ball. He's had 3 decent opportunities here tonight. Steinberger's battled nicely in midfield as well.
Good patience from Miranda. Picks out the pass. Sarkody has Alex at the near post. Couldn't get it past Greenspan. Appeals for a penalty waved off. Clark with a chance. And it's right at Zach McMath.
Well, Kofi's doing the work up and down the right side. You can see Steinberger held for him.
Powers. Vicente Sanchez wants Alundu. Chips it over the top. Alundo is in, but good recovery. Sarkoti. And he clears the danger.
Yeah, so there's some lateral cover. You're covering for your center backs essentially as an outside back there from Kofi Sarkoti, and that's the beauty of his athleticism. But here you see there was some buildup there from the Colorado Rapids.
How the final change coming over for the Dynamo looks like Alexander Lopez preparing to come on will be the third and final substitution for Owen Coyle. Colorado still with 2 changes available. Sarvas with Sanchez. Good turn. Back towards the middle. Good cover. 3 at the back there, Glenn.
Yeah, a ton of players at the near post cutting the pass out. Ricardo Clark was all the way in the box there defending as well.
Miranda trying to find Hoffman. He's down behind the play. Referee's going to blow it dead. And now an opportunity for Alexander Lopez when he joins to help see out this 1-0 win. How would you rate Miranda's performance tonight, Glenn?
Yeah, much better first half for him, but I think that was part and parcel of the Dynamo as a team playing better. I think it's been a bit of a struggle here in the second half for him, but for others as well. I mean, they've been put under a lot more pressure. He's getting the physical treatment, which is something he's going to have to adapt to in Major League Soccer. I think we all know he has a very talented skill set and can work magic in areas like this.
Good forward ball, Steinberger. Now it's Miranda. Alex Lima pulls out Greenspan. Hoffman waiting at the back post. Here's Miranda. Steinberger forward. Clark wide open. 25 from goal onto his left.
Yeah, great attack. The ball was being circulated nicely. Miranda had a big piece of that. Unfortunately, the unforced error. But look, I think we know what he has on the ball. I think he's got a great edge to it. Here's Alexander Lopez now coming on, and again, this is to help you gain some possession. Maybe Alex is a bit gassed here coming off. He hasn't played a lot of 90-minute games, so I think an exceptional first 45 for him.
And Alex for an Alex. Alexander Lopez for who we now understand wants to be known as Alex Lima, I think just for clarity. So Lopez is in, Lima is out. And in your eye, Glenn, did he have enough impact? You said early on you didn't want him to have an okay game. You expected him to have one of the better games for the Dynamo.
Well, I think he had an excellent first 45 minutes. I think he did a lot on the ball. I think he showed us the qualities that he has. I don't know if he's at 90-minute full fitness yet. But I also think, in the second half, the Dynamo as a whole in midfield were outplayed. The possession game really wasn't there for them. I think it was really all about Colorado.
Well, you saw the change. Dominique Bazzi is in.
Bazzi's athletic. He's going to run. He's going to stir things up here in the final 10 minutes.
Yeah, he came on against the Dynamo back on March 28th, a scoreless draw here at BBVA Compass Stadium. A 22-year-old from Senegal. 9 games in the regular season, 1 goal to his name. Sanchez away from Ash. Birch pushing higher. Good strength from Sarvas against Steinberger, but he recovers well. Sarkoty's clearance off Birch. It's a Dynamo throw-in. Glenn, what do you think it says about Ricardo Clark that in both of these Open Cup games, Coyle has gone to him, a man that's started 33 straight regular season games.
Total move tonight for experience. I mean, you got a 1-0 lead. You're really getting outplayed in midfield. You're not securing the middle third of the field, and that's why Ricardo Clark goes on. It's a man that's gone to a World Cup and has all that experience, and I think is drinking from the fountain of youth maybe also. Still athletically wonderful.
Kevin Doyle disrupted from behind just enough by Ricardo Clark, who goes down behind the play. And Doyle, good sportsmanship to help Clark up. Hoffman tries to return it to Miranda. And it's a free kick.
That's where I wish Chandler Hoffman would have held the ball. He's trying a high degree of difficulty pass there. Hold it, keep possession, let your team get up the field.
Sanchez into the area, wide left, Baji feigns across, second chance, good block by Sarkoti. Cronin, Marlon Hairston.
Matt, I think it is incredibly important at this stage of the season, right here, right now in this game in front of a couple hundred people, for the Dynamo to see this game out and get a win here.
8 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. A lot of contact from Powers.
They're getting, in some ways, getting pushed around a little bit here in the second half.
Now Dynamo have an opportunity to break. Alexander Lopez has Hoffman and Miranda. Lopez always patient with the pass. 3 versus 4 for Houston. Hoffman waiting for Lopez.
Can't break down there. You got to get something. You got to get production out of that at this point. Either keep the ball or get a clear, good chance out of it. And here maybe it.
McMath, big save after Hairston slipped. Another chance for Chandler Hoffman. 14 goals last year with LA Galaxy 2, and a few chances tonight here in the Open Cup.
Well, that's why the Dynamo signed him. LA Galaxy 2 scoring goals. Could he make the transition? He's gotten himself into good positions tonight. Let's really give Zach McMath a lot of credit there because he got it off his line very, very quickly. And Hoffman had nothing to hit but a goalkeeper.
Yeah, Hairston at right back found himself on the left side of the defense and then slipped. Here's Baji, and that's when the fresh legs help. Hunter tracking with him, the substitute center back. Dylan Powers against Sarkoti. Towards the back post, Sanchez rises, and it's Willis again making the save.
We didn't know we'd be talking about Vicente Sanchez as the big aerial threat here tonight, but he's had a number of headers, 2 to 3 of them, that have been in great positions, and they're basically off balls like this from Powers that have come to the back post, and it's a wide midfielder getting into the box and turning himself literally into a center forward.
Glenn, you
35-year-old getting up.
You had some concerns if Sanchez is a 90-minute player, but he's been an 85-minute player tonight and really does not look gassed.
And he's benefited from the work ethic from his team here in the second half as well. It affords him an opportunity to just kind of drift out wide, kind of be that guy that doesn't have to do as much defensively, but focus on getting on the end of some crosses here, which we've seen tonight, and playmaking, taking set pieces. He's been a great guy to have in this game tonight because he's made the game more interesting.
Greenspan added to the roster June 5th. It's his 4th game, including 2 in the Open Cup. Sanchez over the top trying to find Doyle.
I think there sometimes is a rush because somebody's 32, 33, 34 to move them along. And I think some coaches are afraid at times to take risk in redefining roles for people and trying to get the best out of somebody that may be losing a bit of the physical side of things, but just still has an incredible skill set and an incredible soccer brain. And there's ways to keep those players involved with teams.
Baji, good help from Sturgis against Cronin. Cronin early delivery, no one there for Colorado. As Ash is able to settle and find Clark. Clark, not enough to get past Sarvas. Now it's Miranda.
So now it comes down to decision making and the right moves on the ball, when to hold the game up, and when to take risk.
Alexander Lopez, second half substitute with Steinberger. 5 forward for Houston. Steinberger, left-footed take, pulls it wide.
Love that from Alexander Lopez, because not only did he hit the feet of Steinberger, he didn't decide to just stand there. He made a run across the face of the Colorado defense that pulled a defender off Steinberger and allowed him a shooting opportunity. So it's a bright spot and a bright moment there from Alexander Lopez.
Sarvas.
I mean, look at that penetrating pass from Sarvas. I mean, he's made them a better team here in the second half.
Hoffman 1 versus 2. Late arriving is Lopez. Now 2 versus 3. Hairston back to help. A lot of strength that time from Shane O'Neill. And it's going to be Hoffman called for a foul.
Yeah, maybe just, he's a bit fatigued now. He's had a good, very active game, Chandler Hoffman. I think maybe dwelled on the ball there, got caught on the ball.
Sarvas. Right to the feet of Sarkoti, and he draws a foul against Kevin Doyle. Glenn, your impressions on Kevin Doyle tonight, the Irish international, now 31?
Seems to be working his way into it. I mean, you can see why he's such a talented striker and has had an excellent career and has played in the Premier League and has scored goals over there. The question is does Colorado know how to play and build their team around this guy? He is a designated player.
Cochran is pulled out. It finds the Doyle! And a big save from Willis.
Well, there he is again. He's dangerous, hits the volley. They could have something with him if they provide the right support to him and are able to play pretty consistently into his feet in and around the penalty area. But he's got some savvy, the way he moves and the way he uses his body. But he's had chances to finish tonight, and he hasn't taken them.
Lopez is onside. He keeps it in. Here's Hoffman towards the near post. Lopez, good composure. And it's O'Neill heading away. Another chance here for Colorado. Dynamo having a tough time seeing this one out in the 89th minute. Powers.
Oh, I hope they didn't overcommit, Matt.
Sturgis did well to stay in the passing lane, and Willis will cover. Maybe too many numbers forward that time, Glenn?
Well, it's something you have to really consider, the choices you make here. And I mean, you're talking about being in the 87th minute, and that was a great counterattacking moment for the Colorado Rapids. And 4 or 5 Dynamo players got caught high up the field. So it's the decisions you make.
The previous chance, the one for Doyle that Willis tipped over the bar, it was Cochran going out to win a header and it left that space vacated. As Hoffman does really well, he turns O'Neill. Hoffman is in. Hoffman against McMath, and McMath made the save, and he keeps it from going over the end line. Another chance for Chandler Hoffman.
It's been a great effort from him tonight. He's done everything but score. Joe Willis has had some good moments in goal as well, I think. This is positive, but you do need to get the result here to put an exclamation point on this night.
Steinberger trying to find Lopez. Dynamo trying to find the quarterfinals for the first time since '09. They reached the semifinals that year before falling to Seattle. This would be the first time the Dynamo have beaten an MLS team in the Open Cup since 2006 when they beat Dallas. Sanchez over the top. Headed away by Sturgis. We'll have 2 minutes of time added on here at the end of the second half.
Well, I think Vicente Sanchez has gotten a little bit too much of the ball here in the second half, and if the Dynamo escape here and get the 1-0 win after really controlling the first half, they got to be a little bit fortunate here. Colorado has produced a ton of good chances, especially in the beginning of the second half.
Cronin floats it in. Greenspan has become a forward these last few minutes as Colorado puts numbers high. Sanchez once again away from Ash. Sanchez through the middle, and it's Powers with the chance from 10 yards right at Joe Willis. And you see behind the play, Corey Ash stretching out that calf.
Ball is hit through a maze of bodies. Unfortunately, Vicente Sanchez has been as good as anybody here tonight. He's turning players inside and out. And the first time finish, really the contact wasn't great from Powers, and it was right at Joe Willis. Now this is important here from Steinberger, earning this free kick and really being able to just kind of slow this game down here and let everybody collect themselves.
2 minutes of time has been added on. We are nearing the full 2 minutes, and a big foul drawn by Steinberger. Now Sturgis talking with Lionel Miranda, maybe something from the bench on where to put this ball. Sturgis wants to go to the corner. Can Miranda get there?
Yeah, that's wise.
Good touch from Miranda to the near post. Clark stopped. Here's Lopez at the back stick, and he cannot get over it. It came up at the last moment. It will not matter. There's the full-time whistle. The Dynamo are back in the quarterfinals. They have defeated the Colorado Rapids 1-0. Here tonight, Glenn, it wasn't always pretty, but a result.
Yeah, great first 45 minutes. Look, they made 10 changes here tonight. They staked themselves out to a 1-0 lead. There was some good fortune for them in the second half. I think Colorado, for the majority of the second half, was the better team. I don't think there's any question about that. They created the better chances. But in the end, this is a positive night for the Dynamo. It's a win. It's a win 2 days ahead of Chicago. And it's valuable experience for a young 19-year-old man, Mauro Manotas, for Zach Steinberger, for Chandler Hoffman getting some key moments here and realizing he can get into goal-scoring positions. Your backup goalkeeper has come up with some very good saves in Joe Willis. So I think a positive night.
And on the other side of it, the Rapids, man, their tough luck continues. They've struggled to score in the regular season. They had chances, not hit the post twice, but had some glorious chances. Willis made it tough at times, but I guess the story continues for Colorado.
Yeah, and there's no finish. There's no execution. They got a lot out of Sanchez. It's just a night where you have to say to yourself, you gotta take chances. You're not walking away going, well, we didn't create enough goal-scoring chances here based on how we controlled the game in the second half. So again, that's the real challenge is for Colorado. How do you score goals? And they just don't have a goal scorer right now. And will that be their designated player, Doyle? Who knows?
For the Dynamo, they will advance to the quarterfinals to take on the winner tomorrow night's match, Sporting Kansas City and FC Dallas. The winner of that game will host the Dynamo in the quarterfinals. If Houston advances, they would host the semifinals. Time to wrap things up after a late night past midnight. Glenn, thanks again for joining us.
Matt, thanks for having me. It's past my bedtime here. I think we might have needed a few coffees here. We should have got our man Dave Obert to get us a couple of double espressos here. But a fun night here watching the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup and a quality win for the Dynamo.
For Brock Jessel and Alvin Campbell and our crew here at BBVA Compass Stadium, Michael Carroll at the K-Gow Studios, and David Obert here. For Glenn Davis, I'm Matt Peterson. Full-time in the U.S. Open Cup. The Dynamo advance to the quarterfinals. The Rapids go home. Final score, Dynamo 1, the Rapids 0.